Hello ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to this video. A very warm welcome to another video of mine. Well, today I'm gonna talk about the planet Venus. You know, the planet Venus gets retrograde. I mean, it starts a reverse motion on the 19th of December 2021 until 29th of January 2022. From the 19th of December 2021 until 30th of December 2021, the planet Venus will be retrograde in the Capricorn sign. But on the 30th of December 2021, the planet Venus will be in a retrograde motion in the Sagittarius sign. And it will be in the retrograde motion in the Sagittarius sign until 29th of January 2022. The planet Venus considers Jupiter to be a neutral. I mean, neither an enemy nor a friend. And this transit of the planet Venus in the Sagittarius sign, which is ruled by the planet Jupiter, will not be a very good one for people. You know, the planet Venus represents many things in life. The planet Venus is a female planet, and the planet Venus represents luxuries, beauty, charm, charisma, luxuries, comfort, wealth, money. I mean, easy money, sexual activities. It represents women, wife, and a lover for male people. It denotes the ability to produce children in case of females. It also represents comforts, addictions, creativity, sensitivity, fairness, diplomacy, justice, etc., etc., etc. So at this point in time, you will see the planet Venus going retrograde. You know, whenever a planet is in a retrograde motion, the strength of that planet increases 3 times. And if it is a benefic for your moon sign or for your ascendant, it will benefit you 3 times more than it usually does. But if it is a malefic for your horoscope, then the strength of the Venus, the planet Venus in the retrograde motion will give you 3 times the bad effects it usually gives. So at this point in time, the planet Venus in the Capricorn sign from the 19th of December until 30th of December 2021 will be a favorable one for most of the people. But on the 30th of December 2021, the planet Venus will be moving into the Sagittarius sign, which would neither be too good nor too bad for people on this planet Earth. So, seeing the planetary positions and the planet Venus retrograde in the Capricorn sign and the Sagittarius sign, I want to tell you all something today. I want to tell you all that at this point in time, you need to adjust with your relationships. If you are having any sort of strained relationships in your life, then you need to adjust to those relationships. You need to give in at this point in time. You need to relent at this point in time. You need to forgive and forget at this point in time. You need to show some friendly attitude in your relationships at this point in time. You'd become very stubborn at this point in time and you'd say that it is my way or the highway. But that wouldn't work for you. You need to adjust with your relationships at this point in time. You need to show some sympathy, some empathy for people at this point in time. Especially if you are a male, you need to be very considerate, very loving at this point in time towards your wife. You know, I'm not telling you all to take any sort of suggestions, any sort of advice or get influenced by your relationships. I mean your near or dear ones, your spouse, your loved ones at this point in time. But you need to show some care and love for your relationships at this point in time. And here is something else, that you need to stay away from some negative people, some toxic people in your life who are trying to drag you down in your life, who are trying to pull you down in your life. You need to stay away from people who are members of the discouragement club. If they are trying to discourage you at this point in time, I would recommend you to stay away from them at this point in time. In terms of your career, don't listen to anyone. I mean, don't take suggestions, advices from other people at this point in time. You know, at this point in time, some people may try to take away your dreams. I mean, they might stop you from progressing towards your goals and dreams in your life. Don't think over their ideas, their advices and suggestions they would be giving to you at this point in time. You don't need any sort of free suggestions at this point in time. The thing which you have to do at this point in time is listen to them from one ear and take it out from the other. You'd be capable enough to take your own decisions at this point in time. You'd be capable enough to implement your ideas at this point in time. You know, you would meet some people in your life at this point in time who will neither move forward in their life nor let you move forward in your life. So you need to avoid such people in your life. You need to ignore such people in your life. I'd suggest you all don't indulge yourself in any sort of vices at this point in time which may destroy your health. Try to avoid tobacco and liquor at this point in time. And if you don't do so, then you will see some repercussions on your health later on. You may also inflict yourself with a chronic disease if you continue your vices at this point in time. You need to take care of your food habits at this point in time, and you need to do some regular exercises at this point in time if you want to protect your health immediately as well as in the future. Well, now let me start predicting about all the moon signs, all the ascendants in regard to this particular retrograde Venus. Well, for Aries moon sign, Aries ascendant people, this particular Venus retrograde will be in your 10th house and 9th house. So at this point in time, you could see some changes in your life. You could see some changes in your career. You could see some changes in your job, in your business at this point in time. You might have to adapt to new changes at this point in time if you want to move forward in your career, in your business, in your job, in your profession at this point in time. So be willing to adapt to that change at this point in time. Well, for Taurus moon sign, Taurus ascendant people, this particular Venus will be in your 9th house as well as your 8th house. So at this point in time, you can see some sudden money in your life. You can see some change of fortunes for yourself at this point in time. And this particular change will be for the better. You'd be inclined towards gaining knowledge about the unknown, about occult science at this point in time. You'd become interested in astrology, occult science, remedies for life at this point in time. You wouldn't bother too much about your obstacles, hurdles and barriers at this point in time, and you would neglect them at this point in time, which may prove to be a boon in disguise for you. Well, for Gemini moon sign, Gemini ascendant people, this particular Venus will be in your 8th house as well as your 7th house. So at this point in time, you need to show some sympathy and empathy towards your spouse. You need to be very careful in your relationships at this point in time. You shouldn't use harsh words with your near or dear ones, with your loved ones at this point in time. On the contrary, you need to show love and care for your near and dear ones at this point in time. If you are in business, then at this point in time, it is not gonna work well for you. Unnecessary expenditure cannot be ruled out for you at this point in time. Well, for Cancer moon sign, Cancer ascendant people, this particular Venus will be in your 7th house as well as your 6th house. So you need to be very careful about your health at this point in time. You need to stop indulging in those vices at this point in time, which can destroy your health at this point in time, or it may give you a chronic disease in your life later on. You need to be very careful in your dealings with your friends at this point in time. You shouldn't get embroiled in any sort of fight with your friends at this point in time. Your secret enemies might try to harm you at this point in time. Well, for Leo moon sign, Leo ascendant people, this particular Venus will be in your 6th house as well as your 5th house. So during this time, students are gonna get defocused from their studies. Your love relationships are gonna be a source of trouble for you at this point in time. Your love partner may leave you for someone else at this point in time, or it could be vice versa. I mean, you could also leave your love partner at this point in time for someone else. So there could be a separation between you and your love partner at this point in time. People who are in the stock market, they need to be very careful. They need to stop gambling in the stock market at this point in time, because it may so happen that you lose a lot of money at this point in time if you gamble in the stock market or somewhere else. Well, for Virgo moon sign, Virgo ascendant people, this particular Venus will be in your 5th house as well as your 4th house. I mean, the retrograde Venus will be in the 5th house as well as your 4th house. So at this point in time, you could see a loss of comfort in your life. You may have to work hard for something at this point in time. You could have some disturbance in your sleep patterns at this point in time. You might be tensed about a particular thing at this point in time. It might be your job, your business, your career, or your relationships. You might yearn to have a change in your life at this point in time. Well, for Libra moon sign, Libra ascendant people, this particular Venus, retrograde Venus, will be in your 4th house as well as your 3rd house. So my suggestion to you all would be, please do not take any sort of impulsive decisions at this point in time. Don't be in a hurry to take a decision about your career, about your job, your business, your profession at this point in time. You should be patient at this point in time and wait for the right time to come before you take that important decision of your life. You would get fearful about your relationships, and things related to money would worry you at this point in time. You would be more inclined to work smart than work hard. Well, for Scorpio moon sign, Scorpio ascendant people, this particular Venus will be in your 3rd house as well as your 2nd house. So at this point in time, you will have some misunderstandings with your family members. There could be some fights in your family at this point in time. It could be in regard to money. It could be in regard to your relationship with your family at this point in time. If you are having any sort of illicit relationship, then at this point in time, you might be exposed to the world because of this relationship. Money wouldn't be coming easy to you at this point in time, and you might have to incur a lot of expenditure in terms of your family at this point in time. Well, for Sagittarius moon sign, Sagittarius ascendant people, this particular Venus will be in your 2nd house as well as your ascendant or over your moon sign. So at this point in time, your confidence will get shattered. You will remain tensed about your future at this point in time. You would worry about your future at this point in time. You could take a decision at this point in time which might not be profitable for you in the future. There could be a lot of confusion in your mind at this point in time. I mean, you could be confused about which path to walk on at this point in time. I mean, in terms of your career, your business, your job, your profession at this point in time. Students may get defocused at this point in time, and they may not feel like studying at this point in time. Well, for Capricorn moon sign, Capricorn ascendant people, this particular retrograde Venus will be in your ascendant or over your moon sign and in your 12th house. So at this point in time, you could suffer some losses in your life. You could suffer losses in regard to money, in regard to relationships, in regard to your friends at this point in time. There could be a serious misunderstanding between you and your relationships at this point in time. You might not be able to adjust with your near or dear ones, with your spouse at this point in time, and your spouse might give you sleepless nights at this point in time. You might try to end a particular relationship at this point in time because you'd feel that you are dissatisfied in that relationship. Well, for Aquarius moon sign, Aquarius ascendant people, this particular Venus retrograde will be in your 12th house as well as your 11th house. So, if you were expecting any sort of money from anywhere, then at this point in time, you might not get that money. And this would lead you to a lot of frustration. You might not be able to make any sort of progress in regard to your goals and dreams at this particular moment. You could also face some digestive problems at this point in time. Your siblings might not be of any help to you at this point in time. On the contrary, they might trouble you at this point in time. You could see significant discomfort in your life at this point in time. Unnecessary travel cannot be ruled out by me. Well, for Pisces moon sign, Pisces ascendant people, this particular Venus will be in your 11th house as well as your 10th house. So at this point in time, you could have a fight with your superiors, with your bosses at this point in time. If you are in business, your employees could trouble you at this point in time. It could be very difficult for you to handle people at this point in time. Your colleagues at your office might try to spoil your reputation at this point in time. Some of your neighbors might cast an evil eye on you at this point in time. All in all, it is gonna be a time for confusion for y'all. Don't make any sort of decisions at this point in time because these decisions which you take during this time will not yield profits for you in the future. Well, this was my general analysis about retrograde Venus in the Capricorn sign as well as the Sagittarius sign. If you want some specific predictions about yourself, then you can contact me directly. Well, like I always say, that if you wish to know your future through astrology and you are determined to live the best possible version of yourself, well, one must always try to live his or her best version of themselves because there is only one life to live. There are no duplicates of a life. You will not get a chance to live this beautiful life once again. And if you want to enhance your luck in your life, if you want to boost your luck in your life, if you want to improve your luck in your life, then I have several remedies for you. You know, these remedies which I'm talking about are a fusion of astrological remedies, Vastu remedies and religious remedies which can be utilized by any person of any religion. If you want me to pray for you, you know, prayer can move mountains. And if you want me to pray for your health, wealth, property, career, business, job, relationships, love relationships, children, property, etc., 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 then also you can contact me. And if you want a Vastu visit of your flat, office, residence, factory, etc., 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 then you can contact me over WhatsApp. And if you are hell-bent on taking your life from the ridiculous to the sublime, from the low point to the high point, from nothing to something, then you can contact me over WhatsApp. My WhatsApp number has been given on this video. Have a great day and a great time ahead. God bless you all. Jai Mata Di. Jai Ma Kali.